Hey guys, it's me, 80s from before. Today, guys, we're gonna talk to you guys about El Clasico, guys, and man, what a match! Let's just get this out of the way. This was a beautiful match, guys, and for those people who are saying El Clasico is finished and everything like that, it's not finished. Yes, I will admit it's not as entertaining as it used to be in years past, but this is still a very important fixture. It's still historically one of the biggest fixtures around the world, and it's one of the most important fixtures in Spain. So you got to give it up to that, and this is one of the biggest rivalries out there in club football. And for people that are disrespecting and say, oh, Manchester City, Liverpool, or Manchester United, Liverpool, or, these kind of other teams, those other fixtures are nowhere near as historically as prestigious as this fixture. So I got to give it up. So for those who are saying it's dead and everything, and I mainly see this from Premier League fans in particular, you guys better apologize. Because man, oh man, oh man, this was an entertaining game for a neutral. And honestly, I didn't expect this kind of performance. I really didn't expect this performance from Barcelona. And this performance for me is a performance that I will 100% take. I know people will be here, and especially negative fans will say that, oh, Barcelona lost, everything like that. I'm like, yeah, I know we lost. I know. But we got to take things beyond this, right? And it's more than just a game, right? Because for me, I honestly believe that Barcelona played really well despite the loss. And if you are a Real Madrid fan, you're more than welcome to come on. Just let me know. Send me a direct message. I'll put the link. If you guys want, I could definitely put the link in the chat as well if you guys really want to. And I got to say, man, it was definitely a very interesting performance. If you want to join on, let me know. I'm just going to do this for around an hour or so. And like I said, for us Barcelona fans, I'm talking to mainly Barcelona fans here, we didn't expect, I don't think many of us expected to win this match. And if you did, you must have been very, very optimistic, or you must be very arrogant, because there's no way on earth we were going to. Let me rephrase. For us to win this match, we needed to do something we haven't seen. And this, for me, is a performance I could really put out and say that I enjoyed. So we weren't expecting. I think many of us Barcelona fans thought Real Madrid would destroy us. I think many of us Real Madrid fans, many of Barcelona fans, and probably even Real Madrid fans, probably thought they would destroy Barcelona. And, I even put my title, Real Madrid to humiliate Barcelona. And, yeah, man, I mean, it was definitely a very interesting game. And I got to say, it was very, very interesting. So I like the turnout we have here. So we got 6 people that are watching. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. It really helps the channel grow and everything like that. So very, very interesting. So let me go ahead and look at some of your comments. So great game. Thanks for the good fight. Yeah, man, it was a great fight. Finally, good El Clasico. Long-time Barcelona fans should be proud. Yes, we should be proud. And I know many Barcelona fans, there's going to be 2 types. At least I'm going to be more of the proud. I know many Barcelona fans will probably be reactionaries. Oh, we lost. It's a terrible game and everything like that. In football, there's no fairness. It's either win or lose. There is, I know there's this whole draw thing, but the point being is that a lot of times, I've said this before, you can play well and you still lose a match. Some teams play crap and still win. Some teams even play horrendous and still get a draw. That's just part of the game, and that's just how part of football. So yeah, we were just unlucky, bro. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. Busquets was horrible. Yeah, Busquets, man. We discussed it about Busquets in particular later on. He was not very good in this game. Probably one of the worst players on the day. Shout out Dembele, he balled out. I think he had an okay game. I wouldn't really say he was one of the best players, but he wasn't one of the worst. I would say he's probably like around the middle, in my opinion. So yeah. But yes, Barca lost low. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, we have to say that it was very, very interesting to say the least. And I just think that for me, it was very, very good. And yeah, finally, Barca played good against a big team. Yeah, this is actually a really good point. When was the last time we saw Barca play really well against a team that really meant? Because I know people talk about that performance against PSG in the second leg. My thing about that is that, yes, that is true. We played really well in that match, but the problem is PSG, I don't think really had the same kind of ambition as we did, because they already won the first leg already by a huge scoreline. So I don't know, I'm not going to really read too much into that. So yeah. Yeah, Ferran was disappointing. I mean, if we're going to keep things honest here, he was disappointing. But we got to keep this in mind. This is his first game ever in a Barcelona shirt. So we got to keep this in mind that, while, yes, he didn't have a great game, to be fair, this is his very first game. So we really can't really criticize him too much, in my opinion. So let's go look at the lineups that Xavi put out there. Okay. So, like I said, Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal obviously made sense. You know, Dani Alves, Arau, PK, Alba, Gavi, Busquets, De Jong, Torres, Luke De Jong, Dembele. My only issue with this 11 was the fact that I didn't want to start Gavi, especially considering what he did in the previous game against Granada, getting sent off. I felt like Gavi shouldn't have started this match. Okay, I feel like Nico Gonzalez should have started. And this might be crazy to say this, but I'm going to try to look at things at that time in particular, because I knew that it's easy for us to say that De Jong shouldn't have played, even though we know how he performed, right? So I'm going to try to look things from the past, okay? Because at that time, I think Nico Gonzalez should have started. And I think that was a wrong decision from Xavi. In my opinion, I think Luke De Jong, Dembele, that made sense. Torres, I think this was definitely a very interesting performance lineup there. Now, as for Real Madrid, nothing too surprising. We all expected this Real Madrid 11. Pretty much every single player. Maybe the only exceptions being David Alaba. Maybe some people thought he would have started, which I kind of thought he would start, and maybe perhaps Vasquez as well. But other than these two players, I think the Real Madrid 11 was pretty predictable in my opinion. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to look at things from when I was looking at the lineups at that time, not now, because obviously it's easy for us to say now what we should have happened, but we have to look at the things from like before the game started. So for me, I think the lineup from Barcelona was pretty solid for the most part. I don't really have any issues at 11, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so let's just see. So let me go and read some of your comments. Oh, dang, I didn't know. Crap, I'm sorry. That makes sense then. I didn't really know that well, because I was looking at the transfer market yesterday, and Alaba, it showed he was fine. So I'm sorry, man. Sorry. Made sense now, I guess. Not playing Desk could Dark Cloud entire Xavi's legacy, in my opinion. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm not so sure if I agree with that, but I do think that Desk shouldn't be sold. Let me just say that right now. Desk should stay at this club. But is it necessarily like, if Dest doesn't play, like Xavi's entire thing is over as a Barca manager? Of course not. That's ridiculous to say. But I do believe Dest should stay at this club. That I'll agree with that. So GG, yeah, good game. Early on we kept possession, but when Real got the ball, they attacked and made most of their time with the ball. Okay. Then 5 El Clasico losses in a row. Yeah, that's very, very bad. This rivalry is kind of reminding me of something else that's going on in another league, in which I feel like it could get to that point. But hey, as I said, I'm not happy with that, obviously, but at least we're showing improvement. And I do think in the future El Clasicos and the ones foreseeable future, I think we can compete, because I think we showed a lot of character out there. But my issue for that to happen, we're going to need to fix a lot of things. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and look at the thing. So basically, my analysis of the first half, there was a lot of chances. I definitely try to keep track of all the chances I possibly could. If you guys did remember any big chances, let me know in the comment section below. And I noticed very early on the game that Barcelona they were looking good, but whenever Real Madrid had the ball, and basically when Barcelona lost the ball in possession, when Real Madrid were counterattacking, that's what really, really bad in my opinion. Real Madrid, just when they counterattacked Barcelona, we were so bad in the transition. And that is something that I feel like Xavi has to address. Because like I said before, guys, and I've said this before, guys, countless amount of times, if we don't fix that defense, we're not going to win any significant trophies from this point on. I'm saying this right now, guys. If we don't fix the defense for Barcelona, we are not winning any significant trophies from this point on, in my opinion, because we need a top defense, And for me, that's been one of the biggest issues I've noticed with this team. And I don't know why their Barca are so insistent in trying to get attackers and everything like that. And yes, I do get attackers are amazing and all, but we got to fix the defense at some point. we haven't had a great stable partner. We need to find someone to replace PK because for me, Eric Garcia is just not ready yet at this very moment. Araujo is obviously going to be a starter, but we need someone else to partner Araujo. And so it's very, very bad in the sense that we're giving Real Madrid so much space on the counterattack. And that is what's really hurting Barcelona so much, is that Barcelona needs to do better defensively. And that is something that I've been hammering home for a long time now. And of course, okay, so, like I said, they had a lot of chance. I remember Asensio had a chance just before the break, Asensio before the Vini goal. I think Benzema had a chance as well. Those two chances come to mind. And then the whole incident. Now, in my opinion, I don't know if that first goal should have stood. And I'm not saying this because I'm salty. Okay, I'm just trying to look at this objectively speaking. Because for me, Busquets, he had the ball. He was going to make the pass. But he took too long. And of course, Karim Benzema tackled him. And I believe Karim Benzema played the ball over the top for Vinicius Jr., who pounced on it and he scored. In my opinion, I believe VAR should at least have checked that. Because for me, I just don't know if that. I think that's a bit of a. I think that's a bit of a. I'm not so sure if I can go with that, And the fact that VAR didn't even check it for me is mind-boggling. Okay, so as I said, I know people will call me out and everything. I know many Real Madrid fans, but even if I was a neutral here, guys, I still would have said the same thing. Okay, because like I said, I just don't really know. I think they should have at least have checked it. Not saying the goal shouldn't have stood, but at least checked it. That's what it said. And let me just see what it says. Yeah, inside the channel, Benzema wins possession. Yeah, but I do admit, that Busquets did really bad there. He took way too long to make that pass, and for me, that was very bad on Busquets' part. Obviously, I will agree with that. But there should have been VAR. Should have been VAR, and maybe VAR had stood. But like I said, though, Real Madrid did deserve the lead. I'm gonna be honest; they did deserve the lead. But I'm just not sure that goal they scored I can buy with. It makes any sense. So let me see what your comment says. I don't think there was VAR. Yeah, it's interesting because I was looking ahead of the game. I was looking at what Zach on Discord, and I just saw a tweet that says that goal line technology won't be there, but VAR will be there. Which I'm like, really? What? So apparently, I guess VAR wasn't there, and maybe VAR was there. Maybe the goal wouldn't have stood. Maybe. But the point being is that goal, in my opinion, is such a. I don't know if I can. I'm not so sure if I can agree with that. But that's just how I feel. I know many Real Madrid fans will probably say no, it shouldn't have been a foul or anything like that. But that's just my opinion. Okay, hope Atletico wins tomorrow. Yeah, you guys better win tomorrow because because a Madrid derby. I mean, to be fair, Athletic Club could beat Real Madrid, as we saw previously early season. But actually, could Atletico beat? I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I think Real Madrid, I mean, regardless of whoever they face, I think they're the favorites for that final, actually. Barca improving. Yeah, definitely. That's very, very true indeed. And I like I said, for many fans, for many neutrals in particular, saying Barcelona are finished and everything like that, we are not finished. We are not finished. Okay? We are improving, and it just takes time for us to be back in the right direction. But as I was saying, I just don't know if I can necessarily agree with that Vinicius goal because, in my opinion, that was a bit debatable in my opinion. Anyhow, then Luke De Jong, he had created 2 solid opportunities from headers. I'm like, come on, Luke De Jong, come on, And then finally, Luke scores, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, man, that's my biggest issue, man. That's really the biggest issue I have with this team. So send the link. Okay, I'll send the link. I'll send to you on Discord. If you want to join the link, let me know. I'll send the link to you. Okay, so share the link. Okay, where's this thing? Invite. By the way, so we're going to try to be here for around an hour to an hour 30 minutes at the very most. So, yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And for me, this was a great goal. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe we actually equalized from there. Because I'll be real with you. Militao, in my opinion, yeah, this was a bit of a mistake. Blasted clearance straight off De Jong. Ball creeps past Courtois with 8 to the left post. Demo causes further problems from Madrid down the left. Since across the middle, Militao goes to sweep it away, but the ball hits the forward. into the net despite the best efforts of Courtois. So 1-1 at halftime. So, Isaac.
Hey, what's up, guys? That was an amazing performance. I could stop being a Real Madrid fan now. I was just a fan for a couple hours there to stick up for my boy Serginho Dest. But I told you before the game that I thought Barcelona could get something done today, and that was an amazing performance. They just got to do that against the Mallorcas of the world. That's how I feel. It was great though. They looked great.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I just think that people are like overrating. People are like disrespecting Barca so much and say, "Oh, Barca is done" and everything like that. I'm saying no. I think under Xavi Hernandez, we have shown improvements. It's just that the results haven't translated to the performance. That's just my issue here. That I think had the results been amazing and everything like that, I think there wouldn't be such an uproar amongst neutrals here. So. Yeah, I that's just how I feel, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Barcelona have kind of been the second Manchester United this year, the team that's fun to pick on for most neutrals. So as a Barca fan, I'm sure you are kind of sick of it at this point, but yeah, I can understand why you're happy today. That you can't ask for much more than that. That was very. I know you said it reminded you of the Nations League final between the U.S. and Mexico, and it kind of gave me those vibes too. That was a great game.
Yeah. So I sent the link to Michael as well. So check your DMs if you haven't already. And like I said, if you want to join on, let me know. And oh yeah, let me see. Oh, Eldon Chicken Man, see you, man. See you. Good luck your studies, man. Linda Longsworth. Chicken Man because I don't like them. Yeah, he's a Real Madrid fan, by the way, just so you know. Anyway, so we'll have someone come on. So yeah, the performance of the first half was really, really interesting because it felt like for me when Real Madrid were the better team for the first half, but it felt like whenever they scored, and I feel like basically whenever they scored, I feel like we started to get into the game, and it's almost as if like we needed that them to score to get back to the game, which is something that I kind of get annoyed with because it's not very viable. You can't just make comebacks after being in a losing position all the time, you know? And I just think that for me, we really showed up in the intensity when Real Madrid scored that goal. So for me, that was really good to see. But my issue is I wish we just did that for the entirety of the first half rather than, waiting for them to score. That kind of makes sense in my opinion.
What minute was it when they got the first goal there? Because up until that point, they pretty much dominated the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was 25th minute.
Yeah, so the first 25 minutes, it looked like it was going to be 2 or 3-0 Real Madrid, but you're right. After that goal, they really got back. Like Barca really started getting into it, and as someone who this was the first time in my life that I've ever rooted for Real Madrid, I was nervous. This game, Barca looked good. They were setting up a lot of attacks. There was like that one header shortly after Real scored. That was. 9 times out of 10 that goes in. He just unlucky. He headed it hard right towards Courtois. But yeah, 9 times out of 10 that's a goal, and it's a different story today.
Oh, Juventus enters in extra time. Interesting. I'll definitely look at the score later on, I suppose. But yeah, that's really interesting. So, what are your thoughts, Michael Talks Football?
Yeah, I'm thoroughly surprised that Barcelona, to be honest. After just turmoil a couple months ago, people talking about relegation, obviously not relegation, guys, but just a club in turmoil. Ferran Torres today, obviously it was his first game and he didn't have any training sessions. He looked quite poor, to be honest, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just no fitness level, no training. I thought Ousmane Dembele was really good. He was causing Carvajal so much trouble today. Every time the Us got on the ball, it was just trouble for Carvajal. Luke de Jong, he should have scored, I think, a hat-trick, to be honest. He had 2 great chances in the first half. He should have scored both of them, in my opinion, then got lucky with his goal because it came off the post. Second half, it was just such an entertaining game to watch, to be honest. I don't know why people were watching freaking Chelsea versus Spurs. You want to just watch dreadful football? Watch that. Watch this game between. This was like
Chelsea Spurs was AFCON Part 2, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much AFCON Part 2. I've been watching every AFCON game. It was just like that. But to be honest, This game kind of reminds me of like old school El Clasico, where it's just like teams go head to toe, back and forth, constant action. You just got the stars just playing fantastic football. Second half, you got to give credit to Barca. They're a young side. They got some experienced players, and they came back. And Ansu Fati came straight away from injury. I think. Well, how long was he gone for? 3 months or something like that. Ansu Fati. How long has he been gone for? 80.
I'm trying to remember when was the I think his last game was against Celta. I want to say that was the last game I think we saw him. And I want to say that was like November. I want to say so. I think you're right. It's like around like it's been a while. Let's put it that way.
It's at least 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
At
So
least 2 months.
March.
Yeah. So Ansu Fati coming back with a goal. To be honest, guys, I didn't watch the extra time because I had to start my stream, so I can't say much about the extra time. But what I saw in the 90 minutes, I mean, yeah, Barca are looking good, but they got a top 4 race. It's not going to be easy, so you have to be consistent in the league. For Barca fans, you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent and you keep drawing these games, that might cost you a top 4 finish. But I mean, other teams like Real Betis, Atletico, they haven't been great either this season. I think Sevilla and Real, they have secured top 4, and they're just going to battle out for the title. So this is good improvement from Barca. But like I told you, AD, defensively, you guys are still shocking. Still shocking. I like the holes I see when Real were counterattacking. Obviously, Real are a very good counterattacking side, but still, the holes in defense are gaping. They're gaping, and it's not good to see because teams will punish you for that.
Yeah,
I think ultimately Barca get it done, but you are right. They have to put a performance in like this against the smaller clubs. Like I said, having a 1-0 win against Mallorca, that's a team they should be doing a little better against. They've been inconsistent. Their defense has been terrible. And I'm surprised. First time I looked at the stats here today, they had more possession by a slight margin, 53-47. But the more shocking, they had more shots, 20 shots to 14 shots. So they were the better team today. And I kind of felt that way. I was nervous the whole time because I was rooting for Real.
Yeah. And like I said, man, I mean, the defense in particular, I do agree with you in the sense that the defense is shambolic. And like I said, man, for all Barcelona fans, we need to accept this, that if we don't fix the defense, I mean, we can sign Haaland we want this summer. I mean, we could do that. But are we going to win a Champions League with this defense? No way. We're going to not win a Champions League. As I said before, we got to sign a defender this summer. And please, just any defender, top-level defender. I would take De Ligt, Koundé, or these kind of players. And I heard De Ligt, apparently, he might be available for $75 million this summer, according to Mino Raiola, and I think we should go for him, man. We need to get defender this summer. I really hope we can get defender this summer, man. Really, really hope.
Yeah, if you get a defender, I think you're looking good for the future. Definitely, you got a young side, and that's the main thing. But I mean, right back is going to be an issue. I mean, Dani Alves is 38. Yes, he had a pretty decent game today, but he's 38 at the end of the day. Can you win a Champions League with a 38-year-old right back? No. Can you win the league maybe with a 38-year-old right back? Possibly. You have to sort that out because Serginho Dest, as much as us three love him, all of us being Americans, he's done at Barca. I just don't see him any way back. I think Javi's like, this guy cannot defend. He can't provide anything to this team. I think he's done. Serginho Dest has got to go if he wants his career to stay alive. Otherwise, I think you're pretty settled. Piqué, I'm done. I'm done with Piqué. The guy's he's overrated. I don't know how he still starts for this team.
It's the Barcelona effect. That's why they hired a 38-year-old Xavi. It's club legend.
But hey, they re-signed Umtiti, so everything is wonderful in Barca's world. They re-signed Umtiti. I know why they did that because they had to register then Ferran Torres. But I mean, re-signing Umtiti. I mean, the guy. I don't know what he has done. I don't think he's been terrible for Barca in his career. He hasn't been great. He's been injured a lot, but you guys need a center back badly. Then if you sign a center back and a right back, okay. And I don't know about your opinion, AD, but do you need a striker?
I mean, I know a lot of fans are begging for a striker and everything, but for me right now, we just need a striker would obviously be ideal. But, like, I think we need to worry the defense first. So, for me, my biggest concern will be this summer, getting the center back and then getting the right back. And then maybe go for the striker. Because, like I said, for me, if we can fix the defense, we won't need to be as reliant as a striker. Because we've been seeing how Fati has been good. He's been very clinical when he's come on. He's been really good. Luke de Jong's been solid so far. So, maybe he might actually stay, And, you still have other players like Abde and, these other players. But yeah, striker is definitely one position to look for. But for me, it wouldn't be my first choice. For me, it would be my second or third priority. For me, first choice has to be center back.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys that today, for me, as a Serginho Dest fan, it kind of feels like this was his burial in a way. It's I think it's over for him there. I really think he could probably one of the rumors that makes the most sense for me is Chelsea. He could replace Pulisic as the starting right back there. And I think he could walk into a starting spot. So as a Serginho Dest fan, that's what I'm hoping for. It's going to be difficult for Barca. What are they going to do next year? They're going to need a right back. Alves is definitely getting really old now. I don't know how they're going to handle that. You definitely need a center back, and I can see why fans are crying for a striker because that's the biggest problem in the games. I think I've watched 5 to 10 Barca games this year, and they have plenty of chances, and they don't finish them. They're not clinical.
Yeah, I told you. Like, it's been like the moral of this season. Like, we have played most of the games we have played relatively well, but we just cannot seem to put all those chances to bed, and that's really been one of the issues. That's like been a constant theme, I would say, for this season. That and that's just for me one of the biggest issues. I think we talked enough about Barca. So let's talk a bit about Real Madrid. And of course, obviously, it's my rivals and everything, but we got to keep things fair. It's El Clasico video. So what do you guys think about Real Madrid for the day?
Do you guys think that Vinicius is the number one player right now in La Liga, or do you still go with Benzema or someone else?
Still Benzema, and I think then it's Vinicius Jr. second.
Yeah, definitely.
He's playing out of his mind right now, though. He's a great player.
I think for Real Madrid, I was really impressed how they counterattacked, and it was definitely one of the things you have to give it up to them. Even I have to. It's kind of frustrating for me to admit this, but Real Madrid, they just have a winner's mentality. They just like to win it any way it takes, and they'll grind out wins. Sometimes they win pretty, sometimes they win ugly. It's just how they are. They'll take wins however way they can get, and for Real Madrid in particular, I just think they countered their defense. I think Courtois was good in the game. He made some brilliant saves. Trying to think who else had a pretty good game. Trying to remember.
They got lucky this game. I'll give Barcelona that. You guys played better today, and you just didn't. The luck wasn't on your side. Like that header that should have went in. That it went right at the keeper, but it was a bullet. Perfect header, just right at the keeper. There's a lot of chances. That one that hit the post. Real got lucky today.
Yeah,
I'll say this right now. Sorry, AD. I don't mean to cut you off rudely, but Vinicius Jr. has to start over Neymar. I don't care what anybody says. This guy he's just a handful. He's just an absolute handful. Is Vinicius Jr. The guy is just excellent. I can't believe how good he has been this season. Ever since I don't know what it is. Zidane is a fantastic manager, but ever since Carlo Ancelotti has come, you just see a difference in Vinicius Jr., a confidence. It's just a guy who oozing it. Just anytime he gets the ball, something dangerous is going to happen. So Asensio, I thought his decision making was poor today. I thought he had a couple of good chances where he could have scored. In my opinion, Asensio, when you have that three in the midfield, they're always going to be good. Carvajal, I think he wasn't good today. I thought he got absolutely roasted by Ousmane Dembele a couple times. Ferland Mendy, I thought he's always good. Ferland Mendy, he did that one Zidane trick in his own box, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy, something else as well. They were kind of missing David Alaba in this game because, center back play wasn't the greatest. Militao has been good, but they were kind of missing Alaba, so that's what Real were missing. But like you said, AD, this side, they don't play sexy. They don't play poor. They just play kind of, just good. They play with the winner's mentality. That's why they've won so many Champions League. That's why they've won so many La Ligas. And, with Carlo Ancelotti, you don't expect them to play scintillating football like a Pep or Jurgen or any of these sort of managers. So, you know what, Real, I still fancy them beating PSG at this rate. I just think with those two guys up front, and imagine if they add Mbappe in the summer, and those front three, oh my God, night to the rest of La Liga. If that's the front three for Real for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up that Champions League matchup. That's I think all football fans across the world are waiting for that one for sure. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that when the time comes. But we're getting back to this match. It was definitely a very interesting because I think for me, Real Madrid in particular, I think like as Michael said, they just have a way just to win, and Real Madrid, as I said, like they're very, very one of those teams that are like they will just win it any way they take, and that's something that you have to give up to them. And, even I have to admit as a rival fan, obviously, I know it's not easy for me to say, but keeping things honestly speaking, I think they played well. Benzema for me was brilliant in this game, getting assist and getting that goal, and I just think for Real Madrid, though, I don't think defensively they're that great, though. And I think, as Michael said in particular, Militao, for me, didn't really have a great game in particular. In my opinion, was probably one of the worser players in the day, in my opinion. And, yeah, I think David Alaba could have definitely helped Real Madrid defensively a lot. And as he said, Carvajal wasn't really that great either. And that was something where I was saying to people that Real Madrid, I think one of their weakest points is probably the defense in particular. Do you guys agree with that?
Looking at just using SofaScore, I know the eye test is more important, but you said Militao there. He, according to SofaScore, worst player on the day for them, along with Casemiro.
Yeah.
And for Barcelona, I know we didn't mention it, but Ousmane Dembele, he was a 9.5. It's not often you see a rating that high. He had an amazing
9.5.
Yeah.
He didn't score, though.
I don't know why it's this high, but his stats were great, I guess. Danny Alves had the worst game.
Did he have an assist, Ousmane Dembele? He didn't assist for the first. Did he assist for the first goal? He might have.
He was 7 for 7 on his dribbling attempts.
Yeah, like I said, he roasted Carvajal. He roasted him, man. Roasted him like a Thanksgiving turkey. It was just ridiculous how many times Ousmane Dembele got past him. But you bring up a good point, AD. This defense for Real isn't the greatest, to be honest. They need some center backs, and I think they're going to eventually have to replace Carvajal because he's just not that guy. I think that long-term injury that he had last season is kind of affecting him right now. So I thought Real they're just a solid team. They're just really a solid team. You can't take anything away from them. They're counterattacking. They are just dangerous, and that's what I don't want to bring up the PSG game, but it's a big game. We got to a little bit talk about it. That if PSG give these sort of spaces to these counterattacks, they're done. They're done because Benzema and Vinicius Jr. will absolutely destroy them. And if only Eden Hazard just, if only he could repay that stupid money that Real paid for him, my God, this front three would be even more crazy. But unfortunately, Hazard has just not panned out to be the player that they paid for. So, you know what, Real, I thought they were still good, though. I didn't think they played bad. I didn't think they played okay. I thought they played actually pretty good. They just played a solid game.
According to the Chelsea fans, they desperately want Eden Hazard back, so maybe that's something that could happen down the line.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So yeah, like I said, I think Real Madrid, one of their biggest weaknesses, I would say the defense, because for me, other than Militao, Alaba, and Nacho, who are the other center backs you have? You got Velo, who is horrible. He's horrendous. I heard he was terrible at the Olympics final. And that's like their fourth choice center back, and like he's awful, And we know that, one of these players get injured. I think Real Madrid could be really screwed in that position. So yeah, as Michael said, they definitely need to replace Carvalho. He's definitely been injury prone. He's not really as he used to be. And basically, ever since that three-peat, he's not been the same. They got to replace him, man. Because for me, Lucas Vazquez, as good as he has been, he's not really a right back. He's really a right winger. You're basically playing him as a right back, and it's kind of like weird in that sense. So
that gives me PTSD thinking of Pulisic playing right back / right wing back for Chelsea now. Don't bring up wingers at right back.
Yeah, well, I said, I just think Real Madrid they need to focus on the defense. I think the defense is one of the weakest points. And for me, yeah, Casemiro, I've heard he wasn't that great this season. I know a lot of Real Madrid fans in general just don't really like him. I'm in this Barca server, and a lot of them don't. They've really not been impressed with Casemiro this season. So maybe they need to replace him as well. And yeah, I don't think he was that great today in particular. So as I said, it was definitely a very entertaining game. So let's go ahead and look back in the second half. Just look back at the chances. Let me see if I can remember from my notebook. I wrote down some chances there. I remember Dembele had a really good chance early in the second half. Then Pedri. Bringing him off the bench, I thought it was a really good change from Xavi because for me, De Jong wasn't really that great in the first half. And I think Ferran Torres, he wasn't really that good in the first half either. So I think Definitely, those two changes were definitely good. And I remember there was that one chance for Pedri. That one chance outside the box, and I'm like, oh, that was so close. I was so close. And then Danny Alves got a yellow card there, brought down Vinicius. It was pretty much a tactical foul. And then let's see what else. And then Benzema, I remember this chance. Benzema hit the post there. I'm trying to remember when was that. I think. And then Ansu Fati came on for Luke de Jong, who I honestly think that was not the right decision. I think Xavi should have put Ansu Fati and Luke de Jong together, because for me, Luke de Jong was pretty good in this game. You know, I'm not really sure why he did that. Rodrigo came on for Asensio, who I didn't really think have that great of a game. This is why I thought it was a Benzema post here. Then yeah, it was definitely Benzema definitely got fortuitous there, and Mendy puts the cross down, and Benzema passes and he gets a rebound and makes it 2-2. Casemiro, and then Depay came on. Dude, I think Depay has to be gone this summer. I mean, I know it's really early to say this, but this is January. He's not been great at all. I mean,
he's the Aubameyang of Barcelona, right? That's kind of how I feel about him.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming at. I can see where you're coming at. And for me, I just think that Depay, for me, I don't know, man. I would like. I think we might. I don't think he's that great for this team anymore.
Give him some time. Give him some time. He's just coming back from injury. If he's terrible for the next 5 months, he has to be gone. But you got to give him some time.
Yeah, that's true. And given how our financial state is, we're probably going to keep him. But like I said, if we get like a really good offer for Depay, I might actually consider it. So we're probably going to keep him. But like I said, I'm just not really been impressed with Depay for a long time now.
The financial state is confusing, though, because we hear all these rumors. I know they're rumors, but also there's been some money spent here where you're like, where the hell did this money come from? It's
Exactly, Zach. I'm smelling something fishy going on at Barcelona. And then the president saying, "Oh yeah, we're back. We could buy Haaland. We could buy this." I'm like, what? You guys are in like 500 million debt. What is going on? So I'm smelling something fishy at Barca with these financial issues, but that's a part of the football nowadays.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Laporta is saying that more just for the fans to get excited. I don't really know if Laporta actually means that. I think he's just saying that just to get the fans to be riled up. Because, I mean, like I said, he's definitely said a lot of shady stuff. I will be honest with you. And some of the stuff he's said, I definitely not sure if I can agree with. Like, yeah, we could buy Haaland, we could buy anyone. Like, we're in you can't,
it would, even if La Liga pulled some money together and donated it to Barcelona, it would make sense for the mid-table teams. You know how many more eyes would come to La Liga next season if Mbappe's at Real Madrid and Haaland's at Barcelona? It's the rebirth of Messi, Ronaldo. It would help everyone in La Liga. The league would instantly, everyone would start calling it the back to its old days. It'd be giving the Premier League a run for the money, kind of, in a way. Even though it's a 2-horse race, there's no rivalry in football like Barca Real.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I said, it's definitely very interesting. So, and it's getting back to that. Then Danny Alves came off, Nico Gonzalez came on. Interesting. Valverde came on, and this cross, man, I was so happy when this happened. I was like, yes, let's go. Alba put the cross into the box, and Fati scores from the was it a corner or like a cross? I think
it was a cross from Jordi Alba. I think it was from a corner, and then it was like those seconds.
Yeah. Okay,
Ansu Fati scores a lot of headers for how short he is. I mean, the guy rises. It's nice to see.
Yeah, definitely, and that was a great header, and obviously it was game on. I was like, let's go, man, let's go, and definitely a very good goal indeed. And then I remember a few minutes later, I think we even could have made it 3-2 there. I think. I'm trying to remember that chance. Where was that chance? Why isn't it saying on here? Yeah, it's not. I don't. Maybe it might be that Dembele chance I was talking about. Yeah, Dembele for me had a very interesting game. He was really good in the game, but for me, his end product is what's the most disappointing with Dembele, in my opinion. That's always been the most disappointing thing, is that he can always play so well, dribbling, do everything, but he can just never seem to be that consistent when it comes to goal scoring. And that's one of my biggest issues with Dembele. For me, he's almost like Vinicius, except that Vinicius is scoring goals regularly, whereas Dembele just can't, in my opinion. I've led the two players are pretty similar, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. But I don't. If Ousmane Dembele wants to more money on his contract, just let him go. He doesn't deserve that sort of contract. So if Barca are going to be smart, they would be like, okay, yes, you're a great talent, but talent doesn't equal on the field if you don't have any end product. And Ousmane Dembele just doesn't have any end product whatsoever.
Well, if you can get rid of Dembele and Depay and Serginho and take this money to signing Holland, yeah, let those three go. It's Holland should be a prime target if you can make it work out somehow.
So yeah, then in extra time, Real Madrid started to get into the game. And this chance, oh man, we were trying to go for the third goal, and they hit us in the counterattack. And it was a great pass from Rodrigo to Valverde. And I mean, what else can be said there? They decimated us in the counterattack. And time again, every single time we lost the ball in transition, Real Madrid always had a devastating attack. And it really caused a lot of issues. And then in extra time, not really much, a lot of happened. Basically, Courtois made some great saves there, Busquets and Dembele. And then second half extra time, it was kind of hopeless. There wasn't really a lot to the second half. Basically the game was basically lost already. Obviously, Ansu Fati had a great effort right towards the end, acrobatic effort, but it wasn't to be. And yeah, like I said, not really much in the second half. And then I remember that Rodrigo miss. That Rodrigo miss in particular reminded me of another big chance someone missed. I think it was against Barca. It was a Camp Nou. Kind of reminded me that Seferovic missed in a way. I'm like, wow.
I've said it before, but in case there's anyone new listening, I'll say it again. Real Madrid got super lucky to get the win today. There were so many chances Barca had that it wasn't just Courtois did have a good game, but it was a lot of luck involved there too. But what are your impressions of Ferran Torres' debut here? I don't know if we really talked about it too much.
He wasn't really involved in the game, to be fair. He didn't really get a lot of passes and he wasn't able to really do much, in my opinion. So it's kind of hard to comment because he didn't really have, he didn't really do anything significant. Now I did remember, I think he got a yellow card on the game. I think it was for a foul. I want to say on Ferland Mendy. I think it was.
Yeah, it's when he grabbed Ferland Mendy's jersey badly. He said, "You ain't going nowhere," and literally pulled him back.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
his two big highlights for me were both look very similar. He was rushing to the out of bounds line right next to goal on the right hand side, and he tried that one kickback, trying to center it to a player, and it just got cleared. And the other highlight, pretty much the same exact thing. He was basically just trying to, I guess, what do you want to call it, a miniature cross or something to put the ball in the center of the box after an over the top through ball, and it just neither of them worked out. But overall, yeah, I don't think it was a great game for him. But you can't blame him. He's new. He's got a jail.
Like I said, for those fans who are blaming him and everything, I'm like, bro, this is his first game. It's against Real Madrid. That's a pretty hard team to have your debut against,
Yeah.
And he instantly started, I mean, who would have thought he would start this match? I didn't think he would start this match. I even said in my preview that I didn't think he was going to start this match. I did say, though, he would actually take part in the game. I did say that in the comment section, but I was like, I didn't think he was going to start, and he actually started, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, even legends like Messi or Ricardo Pepi don't start their first matches. It's you normally make a sub appearance in your first game when you're new to a team, trying to learn the system and stuff, gel with the players more.
Well, I think the reason why he started is because this is against Real Madrid. I think let's say the first game was against I don't know, maybe Cadiz or Elche or those kind of teams, he probably wouldn't have started. But because this is Real Madrid, it's a semi-final. I think that might be the reason why, just that particular. So yeah, let me see what else you guys saying. So, this is a really interesting comment. Frankie needs to go, by the way. Oh,
I thought he looked great today.
That would be suicidal just to do that. Who would you replace Frankie de Jong with?
See, this is an interesting point because I will say that I don't think Frankie de Jong is as good as that Ajax version we saw of him. Now, has he been one of the worst players at Barcelona in general this season? No, obviously no. I wouldn't say that. But the thing about it is that if we do let go of him, we're gonna have to have Nico against Gavi and Puig, and I don't think Puig is good enough to be a starter. I've not been impressed with Puig at all. I know he's not played that much this season, but I mean, the last time I saw Puig play a really good game was against Atletico Madrid. And that was that game, I think it was a 2-2 draw a few years ago. That was the last really good game from him. So, I don't know, man.
He is hit or miss from the games I've watched this year. I've seen plenty of Barcelona fans criticizing him, and there's certain days where he's kind of a ghost, but I thought today he looked pretty good. He was unlucky a few times not to finish some of the chances, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very interesting because here's what I think. I think what we need to do is this. I think we got to play D. I think because for me because I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because for me I think De Jong is really great as a double pivot, but we know in Barcelona we don't really do that. We have like a 4-3-3, and I think that if we maybe play in a 4-2-3, that's where we can get the best out of him. We saw that what Koeman did to him initially. He was pretty good under those first few games. But ever since like those first few games, I think he's not really been the same. So I don't know. This is a tough call to make. I mean, what do you think, Michael, about this one? Because I'm kind of conflicted on this one.
If you're Barca, you have to keep this guy, to be honest. And I don't know how much you would sell him for, because Barca paid 70-something million for Frankie De Jong, and they're going to want to make a little bit of profit, so they would have to sell him for 80 million. I don't see any club paying for that sort of money, so you have to just trust in Frankie De Jong. I think he's just a fantastic talent, and if you let a talent like that go and he excels somewhere else, it's not going to be a good look for Barcelona that, we had him and he turned out to be great somewhere else. But maybe because eventually, Sergio Busquets, he's going to have to retire. The guy's getting up in age, so maybe he can be the long-term replacement for him.
Yeah, that's the question, is that I don't know where See, I think Frankie's a good player, but I just don't know where his real position is. Because for me, I originally thought he was going to be our backup CDM. That's what I actually originally thought when we purchased him. But it seems like for me, he's actually better off. And the performance, I remember last season he had a good really spell. I remember last season, I think of the last year in particular. He was pretty good as he scored some crucial goals, got some assists there. So I'm not sure, man. It's a tough call to make because for me, I thought he would be a backup CDM. But I think with the way that Barcelona's structured, I don't think we're going to see that. I'm not sure, honestly, though. Where do you guys think he's best played at? I mean, that's kind of the tough call to make, in my opinion.
I would agree with you that I thought he was a CDM learning about him, but when I watch him, he definitely goes into a more attacking position. So I think you'd be better off as an attacking midfielder. Not as like a cam, but he goes into the box every once in a while. He's good as an attacker.
Yeah. What do you think, Michael? Where do you think his best position is at?
He has to be the guy next to Pedri, where both him and Pedri are kind of like box-to-box sort of guys, because that's where Frankie De Jong is at his best, where he's kind of creating around the box. He's good defensively. He can create all sorts of chances. So I think Frankie is best next to another midfielder in that 2CM role. You got to just trust him. You got to trust him. If I'm Barca, you would just be dumb to let him go. It would be dumb. I know he hasn't been that good in the last couple of months, I would say, but he will turn out to be good. But I got to head out, guys. Thanks for having me on, AD.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Hopefully, Zach, USA beat Canada. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Well, it's we'll talk about that later, but I'm nervous about the.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous about the MLS pre-camp we have going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have a live stream for that, live match preview on the channel. So definitely stay tuned for that because that's gonna be a big match. Maybe we might even do a match reaction. See you, Mike. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, definitely we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna get some Canadians. But anyways, getting back to Barca, we're gonna be wrapping out this in a bit, guys. So like around 10 minutes. So Ziddy says DM. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like De Jong's. I feel like if you want to get the best out of De Jong, I don't feel like De Jong is more limited as a DM, in my opinion. So I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't really watch the Ajax team well inside out. So, like I said, I'm not really the one to really commentate about this. So if you have any, I'll probably ask some Ajax fans particularly because there's one. I think there's one on my server, so I'll definitely ask about him, and maybe we can have like a conversation on my channel about De Jong and his future at Barca, because that is definitely interesting. Because I've heard a lot of reports, Barca reports saying that they might contemplate his sale and everything like that. But according to Xavi, he's going to stay. So I think
The only the only reason I could ever see selling him is if it leads to purchasing Holland. Like that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these sales. Like Depay, he can go for sure. I'm not a Barcelona fan, but he just pisses me off, even not being a Barcelona. I can imagine if I was a Barcelona fan, I would be extremely frustrated with him right now. Um, but yeah, if you can sell Frankie De Jong in some world and end up getting Holland, then yeah, get rid of Frankie. But otherwise, he's a great player. I mean, the ultimate situation would be to acquire Holland without having to sell Frankie. But I don't know how that works with the financial situation.
I think we can all agree Llorente is better. Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, this is obvious. I mean, Llorente is obviously a better player than Frankie De Jong. He's more versatile. And dude, Marcus Llorente, he's an amazing player, man. Dude, the versatility of him, dude, he's an amazing player. I wish we had him at Barca, man. Really wish we did because he's an amazing player, man. Man. Anyways, so yeah, I guess we're almost done here. Just giving our final thoughts real quick. So, like I said, to conclude here, I think Barcelona played well. They just couldn't score, and I think they were the better team. This kind of reminded me of the last El Clasico because I remember that last El Clasico that was in October. It kind of reminded me in the sense that Barca, for the most part, played really well. It's just that Real Madrid in particular, they just took their chances. Whenever they had a chance, it's almost as if they scored.
Yeah, I echo it. My final thoughts say that for the third time now, Barca were just unlucky on the day. Real Madrid got lucky, and it was an amazing game to watch as a sort of neutral. I know I was pulling for Real there because of the death situation, and I'm a little frustrated. But yeah, it was an amazing game. Definitely reminded me of the U.S. Mexico Nations League final game. A pleasure to watch.
Yeah. Imagine this was a final. That would have been crazy if this was a final.
Yeah. More and more eyes would have been on it too. I mean, I'm sure this one will. Football fans across the world will definitely hear about this one because it was a great game. I know there's. I think we're missing another good game right now. It might be at penalties. Juventus versus Inter Milan.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Think they're about to go to penalties.
Wow.
Not sure.
Dude, Alexis Sanchez has scored right at the end.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
The last I checked, it was at like 117 minutes or something.
Yeah, I was just checking in the background too, and I'm like, wow. I just wanted to see this real quick. Yeah, we'll get back to El Clasico, but man, that's crazy. Inter win. They won the SuperCup, man.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So let me see this comment here. So Donny Van de Beek and Frankie needs each other. Actually, that would be nice. Maybe the two at the same club could be best for both players. They could be the best for both players, and that if maybe both were together, maybe they'll get. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a good point because they were really good at Ajax. So. And I've heard a lot of rumors saying that United could go for Frankie De Jong. That's been one of the rumored suggestions, and maybe that could be for their Pogba replacement, who I think Pogba's going to leave this summer. Let me just say it right. I think he's leaving this summer.
They don't normally. Sorry to go off topic here, but they don't normally add extra time at the end of 120 minutes. That goal was 120 plus one.
Wow,
that's insane. They were so close to going to pens, and Alexis Sanchez said no.
Yeah, extra time. Madrid were in control completely. Could have scored one or two more. Yeah. I would say. I think in extra time, definitely Real Madrid definitely upped the intensity. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's a shocker to me. I see Dritrit Bakali saying Busquets stinks. I completely agree with that. I think you said you agree with that. He did not look good today. SofaScore has him as the highest rated player on Barcelona today.
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess some of his stats were there, but he got an 8 overall. Actually, not the highest rated. I forgot. Dembele got a 9.5, but Busquets was the second best player today for Barca.
Yeah, Busquets stinks. Yeah, he was not very good today. And I said this before. The Busquets that we see for Spain and Barcelona is so different. That Busquets for Spain is like amazing. brilliant, amazing player. But when it comes to Barcelona, he's like, yeah. And I realized that when it comes to big games in particular, Busquets is not very good. I remember that game in the Liverpool 4-0 game. I know I don't really want to talk about it too much, but Busquets was on that game.
I'll talk about
8-2.
it.
You know, I mean, these big games in particular, Busquets has not been good in. He's not been good in big games. I mean, just put it this way. And we have to replace him at this point because I don't know how Busquets is so amazing for Spain and not very good for Barca. Because that Busquets in Spain was crazy. In the Euros, he was amazing. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, he's definitely a different player. I mean, he's still a Barcelona legend at the end of the day. He's had his heights at Barcelona. I think the reason he has such a high rating is his long ball accuracy today. He was 9 of 12. His accurate passing in general, he completed 113 out of 122 passes. He had a one shot on target, and he won 6 out of his 8 ground duels and 1 out of his 1 aerial duel. So that's I think there was a few times where he lost possession in a dangerous situation. That's why we're mostly all saying he had a terrible game. But I guess his passing and his duels kept his rating high.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's interesting you brought up this player. This is a really good player, from Monaco. I'm not really too familiar with this team. So, obviously, if you're from Monaco, I definitely need more insight. But, yeah, this guy looked pretty good. I think the first time I heard about him was a Nations League final. Was it against Spain, I think? I think it was against Spain, or it might have been against Belgium.
Tchouaméni?
Yeah, Tchouaméni.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's a very interesting young talent, and he could definitely be one to look forward to. But I just don't really know if Barca's really interested in getting a CDM replacement because I don't know. But we definitely need to get a CDM replacement because that's also another position that Barca have really been struggling in the years because we don't really have a backup for Busquets. And I think the backup that we're supposed to be is De Jong, but as we already said, I think De Jong is best suited at other position, not as a CDM. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely we do need another CDM because, like I said, I think when Busquets gets injured or suspended or whatever, and we're going to have to find a good replacement too. We need to find a long-term replacement as well. So interesting indeed. So yeah, we play tomorrow. Yeah, good luck, Wells City. You guys better beat Athletic Club. You guys better beat Athletic Club.
Absolutely. I'm no longer a Real Madrid fan after my one day as a Real Madrid fan today. I'm rooting for Sevilla, Betis, Barca. I don't want Madrid to win the league. But, today, I just had in solidarity with my fellow American, Serginho Dest, fellow American born in the Netherlands, Serginho Dest, I had to root against Barcelona.
Yeah.
But oh man, imagine Michael jumped off the stream here because he wanted to catch the end of to catch the penalties, and then he sees that game ended at the 121st minute.
Oh wow. Dude, yeah, I thought it was gonna go Pens. I wanted to see what was going on Google. Actually, I was actually planning on, but only to realize the game actually ended.
We could have did our live reactions on stream for the Pens.
Yeah, definitely. That would have been really interesting. I was actually gonna do that, but obviously it didn't happen.
Adjust the title, Pen Reactions Live.
Anyways, let me look. So we're gonna be wrapping out here in 2 minutes. I kind of doubt his performance. He basically got the same exact midfield today with Spain. Pedri, Gavi. I don't know what he needs to do or to actually perform. I don't know, man. Maybe Luis Enrique knows him better than Xavi, which is kind of interesting because, the two formerly played alongside with each other, Busquets and Xavi. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to definitely do something about this because this is something that.
Does it scare you at all, the similarities between Barcelona and Real Madrid with the old players being coaches, and it seems like they just have a culture of nepotism in a way. Like they're hiring players that are club legends. They're keeping club legends around too long. It seems they kind of keep everything within the family a bit, and it could be a detriment. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, let me read this comment first, and then I'll address your point because that's will be the last point for today, I guess. So he's good, but I think Chelsea got him. Okay. Yeah, Chelsea. We know they're really interested in. Actually, Chelsea's interested in. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think if he leaves, he's going to leave in the summer, not in January. So yeah, those are all the comments. So let's discuss because that is a very good point. And like I said, I think for Barca in particular, when we signed Koeman, we actually needed a replacement. We needed to get someone. For me, the ideal replacement, Erik ten Hag, because what he did with Ajax. But like we look at the other team managers that were there, Conte, no, I don't want Conte on this team. Conte would be disastrous for us, because I don't want Barcelona to be a defensive team, and also we're nowhere in position to win like a league title or anything like that. So Conte would love to use experienced players, and we need to use more of the youth. So Conte would have just been not right. So getting back to what you're saying, for Barca in particular, while I do agree that taking Xavi was a bit of a risk, and I wasn't really 100% for Xavi, I still think, though, that it is interesting because, like I said, a lot of teams nowadays, I feel like they're wanting to get success, and they saw what Zidane did with Real Madrid, and they're trying to emulate it. You saw what Manchester United did with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Juventus did with Pirlo. I mean, you look at what Barca did with Xavi in particular. There's many teams that have been doing that. Chelsea, I could go list on and on. I think the difference is that managers and players are completely different. As a player, you're not guaranteed to be a great manager, even if you're like one of the best players ever. It's a completely different ball game because as a midfielder, as a player, you're just worried about your own thing, and obviously trying to benefit the team. Whereas as your manager, you have to manage everything. Players, transfers, health, press conference. There's so much responsibility as a manager, whereas a player, there isn't nowhere near the same responsibilities as a manager, in my opinion. It's completely different. So,
yeah, it's not even the manager that bothers me a lot. It's some of these players they're keeping around, the PKs, the Busquets, the Jordi Albas. I know they've had their performances this year where they've looked pretty solid still, but you think you would move on at a time, like especially with how they've been struggling. You just think they would move on a little quicker, and now they even bring in Dani Alves back, along with having, I guess, these biases because Xavi played with a lot of these people. It seems that I would be scared that he's going to have some type of favoritism for his former teammates, and I don't know. It's just a kind of a conflict of interest in a way.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, we're gonna see what happens, man. I do agree with you in the sense that you are in this right in the sense that maybe if Des was Catalan, he probably wouldn't be in the transfer list right now. Probably wouldn't have been.
Yeah, absolutely. If he was a La Masia player, I think that he would still be starting every game.
Or Spanish.
Yeah. But I still think they might have signed Dani Alves as like what tactical manager had said, that it could be good for him as a mentor in a way. And they could split, or Des could start 70% of the games. Alves can come in for 30% or something because he is getting older. I mean, you saw today he had to get subbed off. I don't know if that's just conditioning because he's 37. But as a Barcelona fan, I would be nervous that there's some favoritism there from Xavi and some of these older legends. And it's just I've heard it time and time again from Manchester United fans that they feel like there's a bit of a keep it in the family type of situation with the front office and the team at United, and it doesn't actually benefit the team. In the end, most United fans want a complete overhaul of the front office so they can go with a new strategy. But yeah, I know you said Conte there. That's a funny suggestion for Barcelona, because that would be a complete 180-degree turn for to bring Conte in. That's just not Barcelona football. That would be absolutely terrible to watch. It would be a real shame if Barcelona became a defensive team.
Yeah, obviously, and it would just be completely stupid in my opinion. I'm so glad we didn't get him, man. Because if we got him, we oh man, I don't even think we would have been a disastrous season. Let's just put it that way. But anyways, getting back to this whole thing here, I just think that you're right in the sense that there is maybe some biasness. Now I don't think this is just for Barca. I think this is just in general for the Spanish teams in particular. Look at Real Madrid; they got a lot of players that they probably should be let go of. Isco, for example, I mean, I don't know what Isco does for that team anymore.
We see it in England too, obviously. I mean, look at how they prop up English players on Premier League teams. Mount at 20 years old had his huge poster outside of Stamford Bridge, and he's the next Jesus practically. So
yeah,
it happens in all they prop up their own nationalities with their successful domestic leagues for sure.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think this is kind of like. I think this is kind of like a general thing. Like, I don't really think like it's like, yeah, definitely England in particular is definitely huge. La Liga as well. I don't know if I could really say the same for German leagues. I don't know if I could really say the same for French and maybe Serie A. But the point being is that there are a lot of players in this team that are simply just here just because or just connected to La Masia. PK for instance. He retired from the Spanish national team. I think it was 2018. We still have Busquets. We still have Alba particularly, who haven't really been that great. But like I said, some of these players just are still sticking around just because, like, I can still contribute. And like legends like Iniesta and Xavi, right? They wanted to retire at their own will. They actually just make the choice out of their own decision. Like it's not as if the club told them that you have to get out of here. Whereas I feel like, we definitely need to see some of these players retire. And, it's nothing against them, obviously. It's just that we got to move on. Man. We can't just stay forever. We have to move on. And, and unfortunately, that's just how life is. Things going by, you have to eventually replace after you've done so many years,
Well,
so, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and I think for PK in particular, I'm not really sure how long. He definitely needs to retire soon. I mean, I respect PK as a defender. He's one of the greatest Barcelona legends ever. But like I said, at this current age, I mean, at any other club, he wouldn't be a starter. And let me just say this right now. He wouldn't be a starter at any other clubs.
No.
At least the top European teams.
Yeah, I mean, maybe an MLS. He's about that kind of player at this point. Go to an MLS team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's definitely some club legend bias that Manchester, not Barcelona.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just like in general in particular. I mean, like I said, we go look. I think in England, Spain, you definitely see this a lot of. So
it happens in all sports. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at your final comments, and then we'll be heading out here. Do you guys have? Actually, let me ask you. Let's do some final questions. I will give you guys around 5 minutes to ask your questions. So any final questions you have for me and Zach here? Okay. Now is your chance. We're gonna be ending this hour, and I'll give you guys an hour 15. 8 more minutes, guys. 8 more minutes. You guys have to. If you don't ask by 1 hour 15, we're getting out of here. Okay, so 8 more minutes, guys. 8 more minutes. So yeah. Oh yeah, I should do a question on the poll. I mean, it might be too late now. Everyone probably left. So let me see what you guys are saying. Zach, keep Manchester United out of this.
I forgot I had my mic muted here. I think I was just talking for about 2 minutes there with my mic muted. Did you expect this game to be as good as it was? I know going into it, before I knew Dest wasn't on the team sheet and I was pissed off and rooted for Real Madrid, I told you I kind of felt like Barca was going to show up today, and they definitely did. It was completely unlucky. Real got lucky. And did you in any world did you see this game being as good as it was for Barca?
Okay, let me answer this question. I'll answer your question because that's a really interesting question you have here. So what's your opinion on Barcelona signing Ferran Torres? I think this is a very good signing. As I said before, this is a very good signing. I've already made videos about it, and I'm very, very happy for this signing. So I'm glad to see he's at the club. So hopefully he can do well, man. Hopefully he can do well, and he's very versatile. He can play as a striker, winger, left winger, right winger, everything like that. So yeah. So yeah, and then let me answer your question, Zach. So for me personally speaking, if I give me things to be completely honest here, I didn't expect for us to win. I knew that for us to win, we would need things to go our way, and we almost did. And I didn't think this game would be that great, because I'll be real. I thought this would be I didn't really think this would be that crazy. And for me, I just think that in particular, I think this was a good game. I definitely didn't expect this at all. I expected Real Madrid to kind of blow us apart. If I'm being honest, blow us apart in the performance. That's what I was thinking. I thought like they would have so many chances. We'd just be trying to defend for our lives. And then
Yeah, that's how I thought that Barca would keep it close, but it would be like a park the bus type of situation where you were just defending for your life. And I didn't expect you guys to have more shots and more possession.
yeah, I definitely didn't expect that. And it goes to show you guys that Barca had really good a lot of depth today. I mean, like I remember the last El Clasico, we didn't really have many options. This one we had a lot of options. You have Abde, Luke De Jong, Depay, Ferran Torres, Fati, Dembele, Jutkala. I mean, there's so much versatile options, whereas in the previous one we didn't have that many options. So I think that when we have our full squad, we could really compete this season. But without the full squad, it's going to be really difficult for us to achieve our objectives. And for me, the real objective for us this season is to finish top 4. That's my real objective here. So, yeah. Well, this is an interesting question. It's a really interesting question. What made you become a Barcelona fan? Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Because in my country where my parents are from, Bangladesh, everyone there supports either Brazil or Argentina. That's like the main thing there. And my parents happened to choose Argentina, and I decided, you know what, I'll just go with my parents. I don't want to be like, and I know some people in their families tend to go for the opposing nation, opposing team. Like I know some people, like I know some families like that. I decided to go with Argentina, and and one of the greatest players that are playing right now in Argentina nowadays is Lionel Messi, and I was like, you know what, I've seen this guy. He looks so talented, looks so amazing. I was like, you know what? I'll support Barcelona. So, yes, I kind of supported Barcelona because of Messi, if I'm keeping things honest here.
I would say 90% of people your age support Barcelona because of Messi. That's it had to be a hard pill to swallow seeing him walk out the door.
Yeah. And it was definitely like that. So, like I said, I support Barcelona since like 2019. That was that time, and I think I saw that game against Manchester United. That was the first game I think I saw them in the Champions. I know you don't want to remember that, but that was like the first time. So yes, I kind of, in some ways did become a Barcelona fan because of Messi. I'll keep things honest here. I'm going to tell the truth. I know some fans left for PSG and everything. Like I'm not leaving for PSG. I mean,
ooh, shots fired at the Asian sensational.
And I'm not trying to directly target him, by the way. I'm just saying is that, I'm going to stick with this team. This is my team, and this is Messi's real team at the end of the day. This is what Messi's really real team is. And I know PSG is technically his real team right now, but we know that he really loves Barcelona. That's his real main team. And, I'm going to stick with it. Why would I leave for another team? And eventually we have to move past, players are going to leave at one point. And you can't just stay there forever just because a player is going to leave. I like the way the club plays, the possession-based football. It's very entertaining to watch and everything like that. I know I kind of joined Barcelona when it's downward spiral, which is kind of fair to be fair. But the point being is that, yeah, I did join for that. So, technically speaking, someone was like, oh, why not you're a PSG fan then? Well, as I said, I'm going to stick with this team.
I'm curious on what you have to say about Shade's question there, because I don't really see it. What could they win here? Copa del Rey, maybe? Are they still in it?
So, Shade, what competition would Barca have to win to not call the season a complete failure? For me, let me put this away. I don't necessarily think that if we don't win a trophy, it would be a failure. Now, it depends on the context, right? Let's say, for instance, we win a Copa del Rey, but we finish like mid-table, like let's say 7th. In that case, I would say it's a bad season because we're not in the Champions League next season. Because, yes, although we won a trophy, I would still say it's a bad season. So it kind of depends on the context here. But if we finish, let's say, in the top 4, then if we don't win any trophies, I would say that season's a success because we're in the Champions League next season. So,
I agree with you. I mean, a team like Barcelona is supposed to be at the same regard as a team like Liverpool or Chelsea or City. And if City win an FA Cup or something, but they don't make top 4, that's a horrendous season. That's like no offense, Thriller from Manila, but that's an Arsenal-style season to not be top 4 but win the FA Cup.
I don't think Thriller's watching, so you're good there.
But yeah, it's the most important thing is to finish top 4. It's not really what is to a club like Barcelona. What's a Copa del Rey? That's absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So for me right now, the trophy for me would be like an addendum, like a supplementary. For me, top 4 is a must. Now, if we get top 4, then we could go for a trophy. But honestly, at this point, I would sacrifice. That's why I said I would sacrifice the Europa League for top 4 because while yes, you can get Champions League football through that way. The teams in Europa League are significantly harder than teams in La Liga. Let's just keep things real here, So, I mean, that's why I believe, in my opinion, I think that is much better to get top 4 rather than trying to win the Europa League. So that's just how I feel. So that's cool. You became a Real Madrid. Oh wow, very interesting. Like I said, I think many of the one of the best players. Like I know, like a lot of people probably supported PSG from Neymar. I guess the same for Real Madrid with Ronaldo. And I kept things honest here.
We've talked about it before. I strongly believe that the most popular teams, it's like a generational thing. I think most people that are 18 to 30 years old are predominantly from international, at least, predominantly Barcelona or Real Madrid fans because of Messi and Ronaldo. If you get into those like 35 to 45, a lot of them are either like AC Milan fans and teams that were better then and had the biggest stars when they were a kid watching football. I know me, I'm like 30 almost now. Everyone in middle school that liked the sport was mostly a Manchester United fan because that 2000 to 2010 was Manchester United's golden era. So it's generational. The last 10 years, if you were a big fan of the sport, you're more times than not, you're going to be a Real or a Barca fan.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I think, I think nowadays we see more fans, at least in the 2000 era, after the Clasico days. I feel like now more of the fans are now more inclined to the Premier League and everything like that. So, do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think it's going in that direction. That's why I definitely think it would be better if Haaland and Mbappe both end up there, and that'll really be a renaissance for La Liga. But yeah, I think right now, especially in America too, we have the best coverage for the Premier League. That makes a huge difference. I think that even not just Americans, I think the majority of international fans are their eyes are on the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So, final question for today. I actually went a little bit over an hour 15, but it's fine, guys. It's fine. But yeah, I need to go after this, by the way. So let's go ahead and answer the final question here from Shade. Do you think Xavi can make a 180 turn and make this club great again like the Pep years? Let's keep things. I'm going to try to keep things objectively here because if I was biased, obviously I would say yes, right? But I wouldn't give an explanation, right? So I want to keep things objectively speaking. I think yes. I think ultimately we're going to see that. But the question for me is how long will it take? Because I think that's going to take time. Because for me, I think I'm seeing more improvements. I feel like Barcelona's playing a lot better than they did under Koeman. And while the results haven't really been nowhere near, they haven't been amazing by any means, the performances have been better. You're seeing how Barcelona is starting to create more. They're showing more pressing intensity. They're more of a goal-scoring act. And I think there's even a stat out there that the Koeman away La Liga games this season, we only scored 1 away. I think now under Xavi, we have scored 10 away goals in away games this season in La Liga, I think. There's like some kind of stat like that, I think. And that for me is already a huge improvement. And I think Xavi, for me, he's made things more, the team is playing a lot better. The team is playing a lot more fluid, structured, and there's definitely been more of an intensity to the team because under Koeman, a lot of games I saw was we were hopeless to score. We couldn't even we were like it was hopeless. It was difficult for us to score, and we were basically crossing the ball and trying to it was basically crossing, trying to score a header, and that tactic for me is such a terrible tactic because that's never going to work at a Barcelona team like that. So for Xavi, yes, I think he can make this great again, but it's going to take time. And for fans in particular, for Barcelona fans, we have to be patient here. We cannot expect to win a Champions League all of a sudden with Xavi. It will take around, I would say, maybe 2 to 3 years.
It really depends too. If it works out with the Haaland situation, you get him. You guys could be fighting for a spot next year. Definitely, besides Haaland, though, you need a younger center because you can't spend the money for Haaland and buy a world-class center back. Somebody young's going to have to step up in the defense.
Yeah.
And the rest of the players there that are young, Frankie De Jong, pun intended. They need to step up. Dembele needs to stay good. Ansu Fati needs to continue to be great. I could see you guys turning it around pretty quickly here if you get one big difference maker like Holland or something.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess that's pretty much about it. It's been a great stream. We've been here an hour, 20 minutes. I think we discussed everything there is. So I thank you guys for the support. Let me see how many likes were in this video. Let me just check that real quick. I think last time I checked, we were like 11 likes. So that's pretty good.
I see 12.
Oh, 12. Ooh, 12 likes. That's pretty good, guys. Pretty good. And let's see subs. Oh, wow. We're 520. So definitely made a lot of progress with this stream. So this post-match reaction. So it's definitely been a good game, guys. So good luck to Real Madrid in the final. I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to keep things honest. So, and for Atletico Madrid Athletic Club, the winner of that will face Real Madrid in the final, which I believe will be on Sunday. There is no third place game, by the way. So, gives us a nice break in between, and hopefully we can. Our next game, I believe, is against Athletic Club in the Copa del Rey, round of 16, basically the same day as today, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. To San Mamés, and that's going to be a very difficult game. Very difficult game. Let me just put it that way. So I hope for Barca's sake, we go into the quarterfinals and, try to have a chance to win that. Because for me, I think Copa del Rey is the best chance for us to win a trophy this season, in my opinion. So it's either that or the Europa League. And I think Copa del Rey is going to be a lot easier.
I know you were saying a month or two ago, you don't even want to focus on the Europa.
Yeah, definitely.
In the top four basket, and I agree with that.
Yeah. Now we're in 13 likes as well, which is great. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. Definitely a really good stream indeed. And for my next live stream, we'll have a Q&A that's coming up Monday. That's going to be a holiday for me that day, so I could definitely do a Q&A. It's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully I can see you guys then. And take care, everyone. Make sure you guys check on me out the plot. Listen to the description below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.